Close enough.
All right, Google Translate Corner, number 2. And that's because motorsport.com, but the Italian branch of it, is reporting that 3 teams have broken the cost cap, and we are going to get an announcement at the end of this month. So essentially, they're going to give us the announcement right before they go into summer shutdown. The reason I fully believe that there are definitely teams that broke the cost cap is because the president of FOM, Stefano Domenicalli, is going around publicly campaigning that the punishment for breaking a cost cap regulation needs to be sporting, and that they don't think that the punishment for Red Bull was enough. So we have 3 teams that broke the cost cap, allegedly, according to these decently sourced rumors. Like this seems like a reported rumor. Like it might be more, might be less. We don't know how much they broke the cost cap. We don't know which teams, which we don't necessarily need to speculate on because we're going to apparently find out in 2 weeks. But it brings up a couple of things. One, my major problem with the cost cap is that in a sport where money gives you pace, the fact that no teams can spend more money than other teams, no one's going to catch up to Red Bull, and it's really frustrating to me. Like, this is what we're stuck with. Great. This is really fun. But 2, let's just say in this theoretical world, like, let's even say Red Bull broke it again. Like, let's just say that happens. You're telling me that 2 teams broke the cost cap and neither of them are any closer to Red Bull than what the other 9 teams are? If you're going to break the cost cap, please break it better.
The amount of times that we've chanted for certain teams last year and be like, just break the cost cap, just do it. Or even this year, it's like, now you've seen what happens, just overspend. And now thinking that maybe, like, if it was Red Bull plus 2 other teams, that like, hi, hello, you overspent and it's still not happening. Like, I hope you overspent by a nickel.
Right, and I don't know that Red Bull's one of the teams. I'm not saying that
this
they
is
are. I'm just saying,
hypothetically under the assumption if.
Right. Hypothetically, there are 2 to 3 teams on the grid that broke the cost cap, but yet can't compete with Red Bull? What? We haven't had a different team win a race this season, but you're telling me 3 broke the cost cap. I can't believe, like, let's say this comes out. The only thing you're gonna hear, if this drops and we're doing a reaction, we come in with a bonus episode, like, oh my god, cost cap regulations, so-and-so broke the rules. If Mercedes is on that list and that W14 is this bad with them breaking the cost cap, I'm not going to be mad at them for breaking the cost cap. I'm going to be mad at them for breaking the cost cap poorly.
I have to agree with you there. Yeah. No, I really am just like, I wanted to at that point be any other team because I just need.
Because I can't. I need
Show
for
me
my own
sanity. And I'll be like, that makes so much sense. That makes
McLaren.
sense. Thank you, McLaren. Oh, you guys, you did it right. You did it, and you also both have money, so it's okay. Like,
If
it's not okay.
Ferrari,
Like, I understand the rules. I'm just saying in general for the sake of
yeah.
are in the sport. Red Bull has already done it so much, so other people need to do it in order to. We need to start over. We need to start the whole thing over. We need to everyone just start fresh, start with a box, and everyone needs to start racing with this budget of that. And then I just can't because Red Bull's too far ahead.
It always comes back to regulations only work if people follow them. So you're telling, like, that was my whole thing with the Red Bull breaking of the financial regulations. It's like, great, so Red Bull broke them, then we're not going to strip them of any of their championships. Oh, so we're now communicating that to everyone that there's no punishment for this. Mm-hmm. So it makes complete sense to me that we had 3 teams go, no punishment? Cool, I'll do that. And
right,
then they broke.
Like,
and then, so what? This is all a farce. Like, people are just going to keep breaking the regulations. Like, and so if we get a sporting penalty this year, oh my gosh, imagine the nightmare. So we can't give Lewis Hamilton back his championship from 2021, but now we're going to punish 3 teams for what they did last year. I just, like, there's no winning. Like, and I'm not even trying to be a conspiracy theorist that the reason Red Bull, like, didn't get a sporting penalty is because of that or whatever. Like, I just could see this all happening, like, in slow motion, where, like, if we want them to follow these regulations, you need to enforce them. So, of course, when they didn't enforce the like, Red Bull won the most publicized championship in modern F1 history, that it came down to the wire, that we all know they cheated on, then they cheated again, that we found out they cheated more than we thought they cheated, and you didn't take it away. And so, of course, everyone's like, I'm like, yeah, just throw the money at the wall. Like, it's just, why have the financial regulations?
Yeah, and part of my brain has this fear that, like, let's say, back to, hypothetically speaking, those 3 teams are not Red Bull, like, at all, and those 3 teams were taking the gamble of them going into last year being like, Red Bull overspent, or whoever, whatever, XYZ overspent, so we are also going to overspend, going with their gut or going with the belief that the penalties would be as not harsh as they were not. And they're like, cool, so we'll just do that this year. But it all just, I guess you could say, fell through because you didn't catch up to Red Bull in that sense at all. And now it's just kind of like a waiting game. And then imagine if it was 3 teams that are not Red Bull or anybody else, and then all of them get sporting penalties, to your point. Yeah, I would be very upset. So it'll be interesting.
Also, we're 6 months later.
Right, I will never be able to get over the unbelievable upside down backwardness of this, like, financial review of I cannot have the pop and circumstance of celebrating a constructors championship and a drivers championship while the budget checking balances occurs in the middle of the following season when he's already probably locked up his next championship. I can't. It makes no sense at all. That's all. And I guess you could say a summary of this mess. Do we feel like any of these financial regulations are working to get closer to Red Bull at all?
No, I think it's making it harder to get closer to Red Bull.
I agree with you 100%.
This is fun.
Thank you for listening to this highlight from episode 26 of Gridwalk. Don't forget to like and subscribe for a ton more F1 videos and a lot of really fun content. Also, you made it this far into this video. I think you should just check out the rest of the podcast. You can click here to watch the full thing. Ready? Click, 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 click. Ready, follow. Click, 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 click.